Hello and welcome to BB Games unboxing video of the Force of Will trial deck, Machina the Machine Lord.
Machina
the Machine Lord, sorry, which is the new fire deck. My name's Simon, and joined today by James.
Hello, I'm James.
Who just chimed in, correcting me all the time. Sorry. So today we're going to be unboxing this. I'm just going to go through and show you the cards in there. We're not going to go into great detail about the deck or anything, but you will at least have an idea of what you're getting into with this now. So the idea of this video is assuming that you are new to the game and you're having a look and you're curious about the trial decks. So I'll just show you what you get in here. You get a how to play rules reference, which is good for just starting out on the game. It's only the quick rules. It doesn't go into a huge amount of details. It just explains the turn order and how parts of the game work. So good for just getting started if you haven't got someone like our magnificent selves to teach you how to play. You also get a little playmat, which is useful for understanding where the different zones and different cards will go during the game. So you have your Magic Stone, deck, graveyard, standby and ruler area, and the beautiful artwork in the background, which is the Seven Kingdoms. However, the mat is quite small, as you can see by my hands. It's quite a small mat, so okay for learning initially, but you will rapidly run out of room with this. And then you also get a proper rules reference in here. This is more just for what it says on the tin, referencing. It's the nitty-gritty details of the rules and interactions in the game. So reference this if you start getting into problems during games. You shouldn't have too many with the trial decks, but this is here just for referencing if you do get stuck with any of the finer details of the rules. So onto the actual deck itself. So you get a 40 card deck in here, pre-constructed, and you also get 10 magic stones. So these are single color decks, so you just get 10 fire magic stones. Your magic stone deck can be 10 to 20 cards, and there are special magic stones and other ones you might want to consider in future putting in your deck. So first of all, we have the ruler / J ruler, which is Machina the Machine Lord. Yeah, I said it right. So on cards everywhere. That right. No, I didn't do that right. At the front, sorry, apologies for that. On the front of the card, you can see the ability and the judgment cost. So each ruler has abilities, and then they can use their judgment to flip over to the J ruler side. So the ability is pay X, so any amount of will, and then search your main deck for an addition or resonator with total cost X or less with no attributes. Reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. Play this ability only once per turn. So every turn you can pay a few will to go and search your deck for certain cards and get them into your hand.
And you can do this after you've already searched for a stone. Well, search, but taking the top card of your stone off.
Yeah, because you don't have to rest in, which you'd need to do to put a stone into play. You can still continue to do this ability during your turn. Then for 4, you can flip it to its J ruler side by using its judgment. Then it gets a new set of abilities. When it enters the field, put up to 3 resonators or additions with no attribute from your hand into your field, useful if you've just been searching them out every turn. Then banish a resonator with no attribute. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to this card until end of turn, so good for keeping Machina alive. And then you have a God's Art ability, Invincible Soldiers. So J rulers, some of them have God's Art abilities. These can be done once per game only. So for 3 will, resonators with no attribute you control cannot be destroyed this turn. So it really does make your army invincible.
Yeah. So you just go out full force with that then?
Yep. And it's also 800 attack and 800 defense. So no slouch either. So we'll start going through the cards in the deck. So there's a focus, quite a strong focus from the ruler on Void, which is colorless, no attribute cards. However, it is also the fire deck, so there are fire cards in there. So first one we have is Flame King's Shout. So this costs 3 will to play, 2 of which have to be fire, 1 of any. It's a spell chant, so you can play this only in your turn. This card deals 400 damage to each resonator your opponent controls. Then you may put a fire resonator with total cost 3 or less from your hand into the field, and it gains swiftness until end of turn. So what this lets you do is deal some damage to one of your opponent's resonators. Then you also get to play a fire resonator effectively for free. And the swiftness means it can tap, rest or attack this turn, the turn you've played it, which normally you can't. You have to wait until your opponent's turn before you can begin resting them. So yeah, so this is a very, very, very good card.
Yes, most people who've played a few games will know that how deadly this card can be.
Very, and you get 4 of them in there. So,
speaking of fire resonators,
we have Snow White, the Valkyrie of Passion, who happens to cost 3 or less. She has 500 attack and 700 defense. She has swiftness already, so she can rest the turn she enters play, and first strike, so if she fights another resonator, she deals her damage first. Whenever she attacks, you can put a passion counter on her, and when she attacks, she can deal 300 damage to target resonator for each passion counter on her, but if she does, she removes all the passion counters. So you can either use this to, every turn you attack, deal 300 damage out to one of your opponent's resonators, or stack them up to deal with something that's a much larger threat. And then we have 4 of those in there.
And she's a super rare, isn't she?
She is. So if you notice down at the bottom, you have the collector's number of the card, and it says SR, and this means it is a super rare, and you're getting it in a trial deck as well. So, we have the Clockwork Scout Plane, the first of our void or no attribute resonators. So 500 attack and defense, its race is Machine, and it has flying, which is its only ability.
But still.
You're going to see there's a reason why it doesn't have many abilities. So we have 4 of those in there. We have a Clockwork Soldiers, so this only costs 1 to play, 300 attack and defense. It has target attack, so it can attack recovered resonators, and to pay 1 to give him plus 200 attack until end of turn, but at the end of turn banish it.
But you can stack it.
Yep, you can use this ability multiple times. So if you had 5 will free, you could give him an additional 1,000 attack. Wait until they've finished declaring blocks though before you do that. So yeah, and you get 4 of him in there. You then get the Imitation Dragon, so he's 4 to play. He's 1,000 attack and 1,000 defense and flying, which is absolutely vile. But he does have a downside. When he is dealt damage, he is destroyed. Because he is only an imitation of a dragon, not a real dragon. So you get 2 of those in there. Then we get Leginus, I'd say. Leginus. The Mechanical City. So this is an addition field subtype machine. So this goes into play and has like a global effect. Machines you control gain plus 200 attack and defense. So that's continuous, as long as this is in play. And pay 2, rest it. Target resonator loses flying, first strike, pierce, or target attack until end of turn. And if it does, another target resonator gains that ability until end of turn. So you can use this to make your opponent lose one of their shiny combat words, and you get it instead.
And if someone were to damage Imitation Dragon, you could quickly use this to give it something else flying?
Yeah, you could shift the flying off of the dragon, steal first strike off of Snow White to at least get your damage through and stuff. Oh, actually, you could steal first strike off of Snow White, put it on the dragon deals the damage first.
Oh yeah.
So it doesn't even get dealt any damage in combat. So without getting too complicated, this is fantastic. It's a lot of versatility with this. It beautifully buffs the deck.
One thing to note though, first strike only works if you're attacking.
Yes.
If you're being attacked, first strike doesn't take effect.
Yes. For anyone who's played Magic, please read the rules of the keywords and abilities, because they are subtly different. You only get 2 of those in there though. but they do stack. So if you had both in play, your machines are getting 400 each. that little one drop Clockwork Soldiers now suddenly 700. So definitely recommend getting a hold of 2 more of those for your deck straight away. Marching the Machine Lord, he's a 5 cost spell. But you can pay 1 less for each resonator with no attribute you control. So the bigger the army, the cheaper he gets. And resonators with no attribute you control get 300, and swiftness until end of turn. So, in theory, if you played 5 resonators with no attributes this turn, you could then effectively play this for free, and they all gain swiftness.
Machina's enter ability as well.
Oh my god. So yes, so March of the Machine Lord works really good for like a big bomb turn.
And then also make it so they can't get killed.
And then make them so they're indestructible as well. My god, this is getting foul. We're going to move on. So you get 4 of those in there as well. You have a power supply team. So 500 resonator for 3. Counts as a machine, and it has 1 ability. Banish this card to recover target resonator. So this is useful because in Force of Will you can attack and play cards all in your main phase in any order, similar to things like Hearthstone. You could attack with some of your other resonators, including him, then banish him, recover them, attack with them again. That's quite foul. You get 4 of those in there.
Maribel.
Maribel the Steel Doll. So this is what they call a Regalia, which is because it's written there. Each of the rulers for the trial decks gains their own Regalia, and they cost nothing to play. You can just put them straight into play. They have no cost. If your J ruler would be dealt damage, prevent 200 of it. Nice and simple. Steel Doll gets in the way. But for 5 will, this card becomes a 1000 machine resonator until end of turn. It still counts as a Regalia though. And if your J ruler is Machina, either version, either side, you may pay 2 less to play this ability, so it only costs 3 to activate. And it also has pay 1 and rest and banish the card to destroy another target Regalia. So yeah,
pretty solid. It was the first. Now that they're bringing out more, sort of anti-Regalia stuff, but this was the first one, and also prevents the damage, which is always nice. One thing I do like about it, the artwork. This one and that one is basically the same, but from slightly different angles, and Maribel's looking in different directions.
That's really cool. I like that.
It's like his waifu.
Oh, waifus. So note that is a rare, and you get 4 in there as well. We then have Sylvia's clanmate, so we're back to having a bit of fire here now. So this is 2 will, it's 400 flying dragon, and you can banish this card, pay 1 less to play judgment abilities of your ruler this turn, so it allows you to do your judgment slightly cheaper, and you can get fire breathing, so pay 1 fire to this card gains 100 attack till end of turn, and you can keep stacking that. So this is going a bit more with the fire route, but the void's more exciting.
True, but there's no void stone, so they may as well give you something.
True. So you get 4 of those in there. And then lastly, we have 4 mechanical sprites. They only cost 1 to play, 300, and you can pay 1 to give it flying until end of turn.
I really like that card.
Yeah, it's quite nice. It's nothing too aggressive.
But then you can take the flying off it and give it something bigger.
Pay 1, give it flying, take it off it, pass it around. So yeah, there we go. That is all the cards that you get in the Machina, the Mechanical Lord deck. So it's billed as a fire deck, but it really is primarily based on Void. In terms of where you can expand it, definitely 2 more mechanical cities immediately if you want to keep the Void stuff. I suppose you could change the ruler for a fire ruler and start switching out some of these more the Void focused for more fire focused stuff.
Yeah, you could do. With the Snow White as well, there was also the Cinderella who they worked well together then?
Yes, they do. Cinderella and Snow White. Yes.
So you've already got 4 of her there. So
yeah.
Switch her out and put her in a new deck.
But the major route for this one is definitely on the void side of it, and about abusing this void stuff. These no attribute creatures, resonators.
Find whatever you want with Machina.
Yeah, it's a fairly good solid deck, and against the other trial decks, I don't think it's going to have too many problems. I think it's going to be really good games every time. So yeah, so there we go. That is everything you get in the trial deck. So this is only a quick overview. It's not an in-depth in detail. It's just showing you what you get in there. So everything you've seen here today can be bought and sold on our website, bigorbitcards.co.uk. Remember to like and subscribe us. We'll be doing more unboxings of the rest of the trial decks of Force of Will, so join us for those. And I hope you've enjoyed watching. That's bye from me, Simon.
Bye from me, James.
I'll see you next time. Bye.